A lot can change in a year. A year ago, this player, a key member of the defense, one of the most exciting young players on the team, now might be just gravy, extra if he brings something to the defense. Let's dive in. Brought to you by my friends at Draft Kits. Draft Kits, the best in the business when it comes to fantasy football draft boards. Take your in-home draft to another level with the best draft boards in the game at Draft Kits. Use my code Cody25. Get 10% off of your order. Check out the link in the description down below for more information. Let's talk about Christian Harris. Man, a year ago, Christian Harris was a heat-seeking missile and a key piece to the Houston Texans defense. We were thinking about the amazing amount of youth that this Texans defense had a year ago with Will Anderson, the addition of Danielle Hunter on that front line, Azeez Al-Shire pairing with Harrison, Derek Stingley is one of the best young corners in all of football. There was so much to like, and Harris was a key part to that. Coming off of that incredible finish to his season in 2023, where basically at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, I texted a friend and I said, Harris has been a little disappointing. And from that moment on, he just kind of took off and was a key member of the defense, obviously had the huge playoff game against the Cleveland Browns. And so Christian Harris was going to be a huge piece to this Houston Texans defense. And then 2024 kind of got off the rails for him. So a few days before training camp got going, middle of July, Christian Harris is doing DB drills. He's working out before training camp gets going. And then boom, training camp gets here and Christian Harris isn't practicing. And you're like, okay, like that's okay. Like it's a long training camp. The Texans started training camp in the middle of July because they were in the Hall of Fame game. Like, hey, he's a key piece of the defense. You don't want to rush him. Woosah. Okay, we'll just hang out and let Christian Harris get ready. And then Christian Harris hit the field. August 11th, Christian Harris hits the field, and Christian Harris made his training camp debut, played about a quarter of practice, and left limping off of the field. And that's when the just anonymity started for Christian Harris. He just wasn't around. You didn't see him. He didn't make it back quickly from that injury. He wasn't around in the locker room as well. He began the season on injured reserve, and it would be 4 months later, almost to the day, before Christian Harris would find himself active for the Houston Texans. That's right, 4 months almost to the day where he walked off the field in training camp, Christian Harris got activated from injured reserve and started to play for the Texans. Now, he would play in a handful of regular season games, and then he would ultimately play 8 snaps in the playoffs. He played 1 defensive snap against the Kansas City Chiefs. So Christian Harris went from a key piece of the defense, an expected duo, the Robin to Azeez Al-Shire's Batman, and then he was barely playing on the field at the end of the year. And I know DeMeco Ryans explained that, hey, basically the injury put him so far behind. Remember, it was after the bye week when Christian Harris finally returned for the Houston Texans. It put him so far behind that he really never got going in 2024. Well, now we sit here in 2025, Christian Harris not practicing at OTA practice, and there's a lot of questions about how he fits in this defense because Azeez Al-Shire is the linebacker. He's the key linebacker for this team. And then last year, in Harris's absence, Henry To'o, also linebacker from Alabama, went out there and had an incredible year. To'o was much better than his rookie season, and he played really well and found himself a nice bit of playing time in this defense and became a player that the Texans could trust on defense when he was out there. And now, with the use of an extra defensive back playing Jalen Petrie, there's one less linebacker spot to really put guys on the field. How does Christian Harris fit in? Well, he first has to fit in by being ready to play. And DeMeco Ryan says, hey, Christian Harris is going to be ready to play when training camp gets here.
Christian is working hard, and he'll be ready to roll for training camp.
All right, ready to roll for a training camp, but what is ahead of Christian Harris? What does he have to go out there and accomplish in this defense and with these other linebackers to really find himself again here in 2025? A quick moment for my friends here at Draft Kits, the best fantasy football boards for your draft that you're going to find. Customized draft boards, reusable draft boards. Year after year, you can go back to this draft board. It's what I use for my big fantasy football league. The guys were super impressed when I unrolled that sucker, put it up on the wall, and then we started sticking those stickers. Even the stickers are beautiful. Got the player's face on there, all the information like bye week and all those different things on the stickers. Man, you will not find a better draft board for your fantasy league than my friends at draftkits.co. Use the code CODY25 at checkout, Cody25 at checkout for 10% off your order. Appreciate them for sponsoring this video, and I appreciate you for taking your draft to the next level with my friends at Draft Kits. They put a winner in every kit. So let's take a look at the linebackers that the Texans do have on the field here when training camp gets rolling. Obviously, we know about Azeez Al-Shaair and Henry To'o. Christian Harris, if they played a 3-linebacker look, maybe he'd be in there, but maybe it would be E.J. Speed, the veteran linebacker that the Texans added from the Indianapolis Colts this offseason. He's got some special teams usefulness. He played a lot for the Indianapolis Colts, probably miscast as a starter, probably a key backup is his best way to be used. But Nick Neiman, the Texans brought him over as a special teams ace, but he's got some coverage ability. Jake Hansen's obviously been around this organization and played well and been healthy in his time. Jamal Hill, okay, let's see what he brings to the table. Supposed to be able to cover and still learning the linebacker position. And then 2 undrafted free agents, Casey Osai and Jackson Woodard. Like, as you look at this linebacker room, you start to think about putting the team together. Do you worry, if you're Christian Harris, about your spot? Do you think maybe that keeping Al-Shaair, To'o, Speed, Neiman, Hansen, and maybe Woodard, would that get Christian Harris off this team? Would that be a situation where he's not making this team? Look, I think for Christian Harris, number one, you got to be on the field when training camp gets here. Training camp arrives in late July. Christian Harris has got to be ready to go. No more calf injury, no more lingering effects from the calf injury. He's got to be ready to go and showcase what he can do right away when training camp gets here in late July. And then in addition to be ready when it starts, stay on the field. Look, Christian Harris is probably the best athlete they have at linebacker. When healthy, he's the best athlete. He's got coverage skills, having played defensive back before he ended up playing linebacker. He's fast. He's physical. We've seen what good Christian Harris looks like in 2023 from that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game on through the rest of that season. We know what it looks like. You can find a way to put that guy on the field, but you've got to be able to put him on the field consistently, and you got to be able to trust him when you get him out there on the field. Remember, the defense is a little different in 2025 than it was in 2023. The Texans are using Jalen Petrie near the line of scrimmage, using that extra defensive back. There's less opportunities for 3 linebackers, and Azeez Al-Shaair is a trusted piece of the defense that rarely comes off the field that DeMeco Ryans can pour into, and again, trust to be out there. Is Harris playing over him? I can't see that. So then you're beating out Henry To'o, who was a healthy player for most of last season and played well when he had those opportunities. Okay, well, maybe you're not beating out To'o in training camp, so now you got E.J. Speed. Again, played a lot of football, has been healthy for a good portion of his career. Injuries have affected now 2 of the 3 seasons that Christian Harris has played. He started his rookie year slow because of injury, and then last year obviously was basically lost to injury. So you kind of see how any sort of slip up, any sort of poor performance from Christian Harris, it kind of keeps him from getting back into the trust tree, getting back into the linebacker equation. But it shouldn't be just written off. It's not out of the question that Christian Harris ends up being a piece you could rely on. It's just a very long road to get there for Harris. It starts with training camp in July. It's got to get healthy, be there from the start, stay healthy, and then showcase that incredible athleticism. Go out there, make some coverage plays, because the Texans, they're going to ask some of these linebackers to cover from time to time, and Harris can do it with his athleticism as good as just about anybody they have on the roster. He just got to go out, show it day after day after day. And really, as good as he was in 2023, he kind of starts over from the beginning with nothing to build off of in 2024. Hey, 2023 was nice. That's 2 years ago. You got to really get things going here in 2025 if you're Christian Harris. So a little breakdown about this Texans linebacker situation, specifically about Christian Harris. If you can count on him, put him on the field and see what he's got. If you can't count on him, Christian Harris might be finding himself another opportunity somewhere else. What say you? You betting on Christian Harris's bounce back in 2025, or are you not quite buying it? Let me know in the comment section down below. On your way down there, throw me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you like fantasy football, you're going to love Draft Kits, the best fantasy football boards in the business. That's what I use for my fantasy football league. We got a big, beautiful, customized board with the exact amount of spaces that we have in the league. We're going to use it for year after year after year. Man, that thing is durable. We even had the drunk guy in the league rip it off the wall. It's fine. Those things are durable. You don't want the durable one? Hey, they got the 1 year only option for you as well with Draft Kits. Great company, Texas company. Guy that runs it's a Texans fan as well. So if you want to take your in-home fantasy a football draft to the next level, Draft Kits is the way to do it. Oh, by the way, you can get those customized banners. You get the customized draft boards. You want to put the league loser falling asleep in his chair at the draft from the previous year as the background image. You can do that as well. Lots of fun, my friends at Draft Kits. 10% off when you visit them and use my code Cody25. Cody25. Appreciate them for sponsoring this video. Appreciate you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait till we talk Texans. Well, I really got going on that one. Again, soon, Food Review Friday coming your way right now. All right, food review time. And I got to tell you right off the bat, this one's going to be a tough one, and I'll explain why. The Pop-Tarts ice cream sandwiches, I've been trying to find these for a few weeks. I finally found them over at Walmart, and when I opened the big box, I was a little disappointed. I'm very disappointed at the amount of food that you get for the price. $6.98, and you get 4 of these little Pop-Tart ice cream sandwiches. So right off the bat, I'm not loving the value of this. And as I pull out the ruler here, okay, 4 inches by about 3 inches on the ice cream sandwich in the package. I got the strawberry version. There's the cinnamon sugar version, or cinnamon brown sugar, cinnamon, whatever it is. And then they have a chocolate fudge version. But let's get into this. And if the taste just absolutely blows you out of the water, maybe you can make it a luxury dessert. But I do not have high hopes for the ice cream Pop-Tart sandwiches. I thought it was going to be 2 Pop-Tarts with ice cream in between. It's not. It's too many Pop-Tarts with ice cream. And I got the strawberry, but I cut it in half so we can see like a little cross section here. It smells good. All right, you can see in there as it crumbles all over my desk, you can see the strawberry filling kind of in the middle of the Pop-Tarts there. This better be one hell of a dessert. For $6.98 for 4 of them, that's going to heavily influence the score unless this absolutely blows me away. Let's get it going here. It is a frozen item, so even though I have my wonderful air conditioner running from Platinum AC and Heating, shout out Dwayne, this will melt if I take too long. All right, I've talked enough here. This sucks. I mean, come on. Nope. Not going to be for me. Not going to be for me. Not going to finish that probably. Not a tremendous amount of flavor. Yes, it does taste like a strawberry Pop-Tart. The ice cream has basically no flavor to it. You would be better served making 2 regular-sized Pop-Tarts in your toaster at the house and then putting your favorite ice cream in between those Pop-Tarts and eating it that way. That would be a much better ice cream sandwich and probably cheaper than $6.98 for 4 of these underwhelming little suckers. That's not good, man. I'm very disappointed, and I've been searching for them for weeks. And you guys know this. You've seen the food reviews. I'm usually not this negative, even when they're a little disappointing. But This is going to be an all-time low score. This might be one of the lowest scores we've had. 1 to 11. One is you couldn't even, wouldn't even do it again. 11's the greatest of all time. Man, I'm going to give it one more bite. Like, this is a very strawberry bite. I'm going to give it one more bite here. Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's very underwhelming. The Poptart flavor is muted. The ice cream doesn't have any flavor. Boy, I don't think I've ever gone this low. This is a 1.9. This is a 1.9. Don't buy this. Don't use your money. I can't imagine that the chocolate one or the other one is that much better. It's not for me. Even if you love Pop-Tarts, I'm telling you, go buy a thing of Pop-Tarts. Go buy your favorite ice cream. Make your own Pop-Tart ice cream sandwich. Don't buy the pre-made Pop-Tart ice cream sandwich. It is a heavy, heavy don't buy from me. I sound like the Jim Cramer guy. Don't buy. Yeah, but I have better track record than him with food than he does with stocks recently. Anyway, no, big thumbs down. 1.9 on the Pop-Tart ice cream sandwiches. That was very disappointing.